I started a series a while back. It was called Words Matter. And at that time, I would address the current political or social buzzword, you know, racist or what's a transphobe. And I got away from it, not because I forgot about it, but because there were other more pressing matters to address, especially by my brothers and myself. Here on this channel, we talk about relationships, movies, games, because those are things that we talk about off camera. But now I need to bring it back. Words matter. Because the one word I have heard being thrown around so loosely, so overwhelmingly, is the word fascist and fascism. And looking it up, I was wondering why that was so attached to Donald Trump. And then I saw, well, you'll see. You'll see. And I'll break it down. So without further ado, let's get into it. So what is a fascist? What is fascism?
Good question.
Well, we're going to take it step by step. We're going to address its core tenets. We're going to see what it is, how it got started, and we're going to see how it attached itself to Donald Trump, his supporters, and the MAGA movement.
Enlighten me.
So right here, let's start at the very beginning here and we'll break it down as we go. Fascism is an ultra-nationalist, authoritarian, political ideology characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized government, and forcible suppression of opposition. Its core belief is the absolute supremacy of the nation or race over the individual. The first modern fascist parties emerged in Europe following World War I, most notably in Italy under Benito Mussolini and in Germany under Adolf Hitler. Now, if you know anything about history and about World War II and the parties involved, the Axis party, the bad guys, Germany, Italy, and Japan, you know that being in a boat with that is not a good thing.
Nope.
No way.
To be seen as a fascist or support fascism isn't great. The two examples they have are two dictators that were all about killing opposition, and every other heinous, inhumane crime you could think about. So, how does that paint or relate to Donald Trump and the MAGA movement?
Well, we're waiting.
The Make America Great Again. Well, it's right there in the name. Donald Trump ran on the prospect, the premise, the principle of making America great again.
Make America great again.
And as you can see here in the core tenets and characteristics, the first thing they say is extreme nationalism. Extreme nationalism. Now let's see what that is. Fascism prioritizes the interest of the state above all else, often relying on a narrative of past national humiliation or perceived decline to unite the populace.
That's interesting.
Well, that's why they call Donald Trump a fascist, because he wants to make America great again, implying that America has fallen off. But I would like for you to go back and look up the unhappiness of middle America prior to Trump winning or running for the presidency and eventually winning the first time. We had hit a point of decline, and it was not a great place. On the world stage, you can find arguments for and against But there were a lot of people, let's just call it 50-50. A lot of people believed that America had weakened itself, looked weaker, capitulated on the world stage. And with that, Donald Trump wanted to come in and make America a dominant superpower again. So if you use that, if you look at it that way, you can see why they call him a fascist, because he put America first.
Is something wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Now, let me give you my insight into why that's not a bad thing.
Please, go on.
For starters, it wasn't an extreme thing, but it did need to be addressed. It was okay. It's time to put America's needs above all else.
It's about time!
Because the press, the media, which is very left-leaning, and a lot of things on the left led to America's global decline, they're not going to tell you that America is looking weaker on the world stage. They're not.
No, not at all.
This period point blank, because they help perpetuate it on one hand while equally telling you that everything is a-okay. While we were going to shit behind closed doors, and it's the press's job to shine a light on darkness, democracy dies in the dark, Washington Post, they didn't do that.
Not even a little.
They kept telling the American public, oh, everything is fine. And anything that the right did was in an effort to disrupt or make America look bad. And it wasn't. So, looking here, fascism prioritizes the interests of the state above all else. Don't you prioritize your home? Often relying on a past of national humiliation. Yeah, Donald Trump did. He used a lot of bad deals that Barack Obama made that the general populace was not aware of to unify or to mobilize his base. Because let's get this said and understood. Those cages, those kids in cages, those were started by Barack Obama, not Donald Trump. He inherited that. Y'all buddy, yes, left, I'm talking to y'all buddy Barack Obama started the kids in cages. As you see here, family detention during Obama administration. The Obama's administration's massive expansion of family detention began in the summer of 2014. Did y'all know this?
Apparently not.
See, y'all weren't aware of Obama doing that until the phrase kids in cages came out, and it was attributed to Donald Trump, when Obama is the one that started it. Carrying on, or perceived decline to unite the populace. And I did that part already, okay? Dictatorial leadership and hierarchy. The system is headed by a single powerful leader who rules without opposition and is presented as infallible. Here is where I want y'all to go. How was that Donald Trump? Because y'all point out his flaws on a regular basis.
Exactly.
If y'all remember his first term in office, he only got about half the things he wanted through. See, when you're a dictator, you get things put through, period. You don't need a vote from anybody else. You don't need anyone else's permission. Let's see. Who did that? What president got rid of a shit ton of college loan debt, even though that wasn't in his power?
People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
That's right. That was Joe Biden. Joe Biden did not have legal authority to wipe out loan debt. That needed to come from Congress. Yet somehow he did it. And when it comes to ruling without opposition, which president spent a lot of time trying to get a potential threat thrown in jail? Biden again. How is it that once Trump left, you still pursued, or your administration still pursued everything they possibly could to put this man in jail? Even crimes that were misdemeanors. Y'all tried to bump up to felonies with jail time? Really? and presented as infallible, even when it was obvious of the mental decline of Joseph Biden, the press still covered his ass.
Now, he's cogent, but I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second, and I've known him for years.
So, who is actually more of the fascist going by that definition?
Yeah, well,
Continuing on, it enforces a strict social hierarchy where individual liberties are subordinated to the state's authority. Which president was in office that forced people to take the vaccine regardless of how they felt? Regardless of their civil liberties to say, no, I don't want that medicine, I don't want that shot. Which president was in office that actually put ordinances and laws in place where if you didn't get the shot, you did not work? Which president did that? Joe Biden again. Well, I be damned. It would seem to me that if you're going to scorecard here, that's one for Trump, one for Biden. So let's keep going on and see who's the real fascist here. Militarism. Fascist movements glorify war, conquest, and the military, viewing violence as a tool for national rebirth and external expansion. Well, only one of these presidents got us into a war that had nothing to do with us. Only one of these presidents got us involved in a battle and skirmish that had nothing to do with America. Which president was that?
In order to sustain Ukraine for the duration of this fight, next week I'm going to have to be sending to Congress a supplemental budget request to keep weapons and ammunition flowing without interruption to the brave Ukrainian fighters and continue to deliver economic assistance to the Ukrainian people.
Biden again.
And you know this, man?
Suppression of opposition. Come on. Seriously?
seriously? Seriously? Seriously?
I just went on that. I'll read it. Fascist regimes use intimidation, censorship, and political violence to crush all dissent and silence political opponents, communists and socialists. Which administration was just outed as censoring Google? Which administration was outed last year or year before last as censoring Twitter? Which administration was trying to get a man locked up on nothing? I just mentioned that. Which administration was that?
And the winner is...
You guessed it, Biden. So right now, it's 3-1 Biden administration. You know, Biden, leader of the Dem Party. So that would make Dems fascist.
I'm open for another explanation, but it makes sense to me.
Oh, okay. I'll keep going on now. Economic control. While typically aligned with private business interests, fascist states implement heavy, centralized control over the economy to serve the nation's needs. Well, Donald Trump has come in and working to remove taxes from tips and Social Security income, and the man even openly stated that he wants to get rid of income tax, period, and have taxes paid through tariffs. Nancy Pelosi seems to have drastically increased her wealth while she's been in her political seat, and don't want to break any hearts, but Barack Obama left a little bit richer too. Yeah. Yes, Barack Obama's net wealth has significantly increased since his presidency ended in 2017. Hey, who has the money again? All right, then. All right. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. Scapegoating. Fascism identifies specific minority groups or enemies to blame for national problems, directing popular anger away from government failings. Now then, this is the fun part. Donald Trump doesn't identify any minority group as an enemy or blames them for national problems. He blames those people that are manipulating minority groups into distracting from the real problems. When Donald Trump first came in, he came in with the motto, drain the swamp, because he knew what a hot mess Washington, D.C. was politically. That's what we all should want. We all should back that. Get rid of those leeches, vultures, snakes, and all those no good
Oh, you better not say that. You'll go to hell.
Get rid of them politicians that don't work for the people, but are in it for themselves. We all should be cheering for that and supporting that. Yet the other party, the liberals, have learned to manipulate the minorities in this country to emphasize their victimhood. And like it says in the previous thing, where it says, what was it? Yes, relying on a narrative of past national humiliation. The liberals do that on a regular basis.
That's right.
They remind black people all the time, remember y'all were slaves. Remember, don't let that slide. Y'all were the slaves. But they got y'all so wound up that you look past the obvious. They pull the wool over your eyes. As a matter of fact, here's the best way to put it. I'm going to let Malcolm X say it like this.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling and you take him for a friend.
They are the fox. They have y'all believing that their teeth is a friendly smile. They don't give a shit about you. They wound you up. And as long as they're able to keep y'all fighting, and as long as they're able to keep y'all angry, y'all won't have cooler heads prevail, join with the people that they have told you are the opposition, and work to making this government a better place.
Exactly.
So the question remains again, who is really the fascist? So now that we have the scapegoating part down, the last thing, popular tactics. Fascists use emotionally charged... What? I'm reading this for the first time with y'all, so this is some bullshit. Wow. Fascists use emotionally charged, often myth-based rhetoric to mobilize mass support, promising to unify and cleanse the nation. Weren't they calling Biden the great unifier? I do believe that's what they called him. They called Biden the great unifier. And remember, he promised to get rid of all those big bad white supremacists. So I ask you, now that we've gotten all that out there, who's really the fascist? I've given you the definitions, and you see for yourself what's what. Because none of those things can be attributed to Donald Trump, his supporters of the MAGA movement.
Zero. Not even a one.
You know, that first thing that defined a fascist, nationalism, pride, well, Donald Trump isn't extreme with it, but he does, as anyone should, want to put their country first.
Yes.
In the same way that you would want to put your home first. You want to put your life first. Putting your country first is not a bad thing.
No, sir.
This country is our home. We put our home first. Break that down to a personal level. Don't you put your home first?
Without question.
I mean, are you going to go out and work and bust your ass and take all the slings, arrows, stress, and drama that come along with working a 9-to-5 or even running a business, come home and then give all that money to your neighbor?
Fuck no!
Or you do all that and you put your neighbor's needs above the needs of your household, your family?
No.
Would you do that?
I didn't think so.
Well, if you wouldn't, by definition, that would make you a form of fascist.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So putting a nation first, that's not a big thing. In context, what they meant was their nation being better than every other nation. In context, that's what the fascist definition of putting your country first really means. It really means a superiority complex. Even though, and this is pre-Donald Trump, how many presidents have called this the greatest nation in the world?
No. He's got a point.
And if you travel, you'll see why that's said. Because I don't know about a whole bunch of people escaping to Saudi Arabia. I don't see people escaping to Mexico. I don't see people escaping to Venezuela. I don't see people running away to Cuba. But all those places have people coming here in droves.
He's out of line, but he's right.
So when it comes to fascism, I think you might want to look in the mirror if you're over there on the left and ask yourself that question.
Are we the baddies?
That's all I got for you on this edition of Free Mind Thinkers. You know the drill. If you like what you heard, click that like button. If you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button, press the notification bell, and you will be notified every time we upload. Most importantly, I ask that you leave a comment. Share me out there. Love me, hate me, agree or disagree. Most important thing is to get a conversation going. And as always, I thank you for your time because I know that is the most important thing that any of us have. This is your man, Big Brother Tucker, representing Free Mind Thinkers, reminding you to always stand up, stand out, think differently. And I'll holler.